Hello Libra, welcome to the channel. This is Asnointia here. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. So this is a general love reading, and I'll be looking into the feelings and emotions of the person that you are connecting with on a romantic level, what it is that they're feeling and thinking towards you currently. The deck that I'm using is the Goddess Oracle deck by Amy Sophia Marashinsky. So some of you may have been in a relationship in the past. This could also be a current relationship, but there's a lack of communication. For others of you, this could be a situationship or someone that you've met and you know there's a whole lot of energy there, but no one's really speaking up. For those of you who are new, my method of reading is just slightly different. I do have the ability of channeling through my higher intuitive self to get the answers that I need. I do not channel through any spirit guides. I never have. I have certain reasons for that. At the end of this reading, I do channel Archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel to provide you with some advice based on what comes up today. Libra. Interesting. Nice the way that came out. Happy to see that. Love. Okay. I mean, last but not least, love. It's good at least we have that. Wow. All right. So interesting. 1, 2, 3. 3 cards that are a little bit on the dark and dreary side. Now, this is your person of interest. Most likely it's your person of interest. This may not resonate for some who, let me rephrase that. These type of cards right now, they're not as intense. Sometimes I would say that you may resonate with this being your own energy, but I'm not seeing that as much right now. I'm seeing this as your person of interest, their energy. If you had a few other cards here, then I would have said it's very much related to you. But definitely this is their energy. Here we have relationship followed by wisdom, wild woman, challenge, order, pleasure, selfhood, love. Under the bottom of the deck, the overall arching theme, we have synthesis. All right. I'm going to express to you what it is that your person of interest is feeling towards you currently. My dear Libra, I'm finally starting to see things clearly. I see how others are with you, and I like what I see. I wish I could also be in that type of a connection. I wish we could be in that type of a home environment. Many moons, many nights have gone by, and I've stayed awake, in bed, sometimes just staring at the ceiling, sometimes at the stars, wondering what it would be like to be in a connection like this with you. I do fantasize about that, and I do want that. But sometimes I'm afraid. And now, after all that has happened, Libra, I realize that I have gained some wisdom. I have learned from my mistakes. I have learned from some lessons that I have gone through. And I feel that I'm no longer the same person that I once was. This is why I've been thinking about a relationship with you. I'm wiser now because I realize that the things that I did in the past, the sneaky things that I did, the way I behaved, they were not good. I know that in this connection, there has been deceit, deception, suspicion, treachery, lies that were told, words that were spoken, but not everything was true. Parts of it were taken out. Parts of the things that I had spoken were untrue. And so, no, there was a lack of truth, which led to a lack of faith. And now this situation, where I have not been truthful and I have lied to you, it's become a challenge. How do I even move forward in a connection? Because I feel it's very challenging. It's not easy, as I thought it once would be. It's not. This is now a problem that just can't be solved. A riddle to which a solution can't be found. And I do feel that in this connection there is a sense and a desire to make sense of it all, to understand, to have more clarity about the relationship. But I do lack clarity. I think I always did. I lack the knowledge of transparency and honesty. There was a lack of honesty. I also feel that a part of me wants to make a difference. I want to be that person who can take a leap of faith and move in the right direction. But the problem is, I am surrounded by confusion. So many things happening all at once. Very chaotic. Because of that, I don't make a move at all. Even though I can, even though I should. I do feel a whole lot of pleasure. The pleasure that I feel, this is spiritual as well as physical. And I dare not make a move, because if I make a mistake, I feel that's the end of it. I see you now as somebody who has really changed. Someone who has moved on. What I'm seeing is you are more independent, self-reliant, self-sufficient. You don't need me. You don't need anybody. And so, it's okay if I keep my distance. I feel as if I can keep you safe, as odd as it sounds. I see you being very defensive now and guarded. And you weren't like this before. But ever since I did what I did, and the way that I acted, things for me have become challenging because you have changed. And you only changed because of my actions. You reacted to my actions. And anybody in your shoes would probably do the same thing. But the flame that once burned brightly is now extinguished. And I would like to reignite it, but I don't know how. This was a mystery. You were a mystery once that was wrapped in an enigma. And I unraveled it. And I knew who you were. And I knew exactly what to do. To you it may even have seemed as if I manipulated you. Once bitten, twice as shy. I understand why you keep your distance now. Libra, do I love you? I do. I do love you. And the love that I feel for you right now, it is very, very sacred, very pure, very clean, very true. And it is unconditional love. Do I feel that you are someone I would want to be with for the rest of my life? Yes, I do. I know I've learned my lesson. But the problem is it's so challenging because you have grown distant. It's not your fault. It's because of the things that I have said and done. And this is exactly why it's so challenging now when I finally love you, now when I finally want a relationship, now when I'm finally wiser, I find it a challenge. I want to restore the peace and harmony that once existed. And I finally want to open up to you and talk to you about certain things that have happened in my life, certain things that I have not shared before. But I want to open up and I want to talk to you. For me, it's very important that I do. For now, Libra, I daydream and I dream of a relationship with you. But I also know that it's not going to be easy because of the pain and the heartbreak that I actually put you through. All right, Libra. So much is going on here. You know, this person does love you, but they really messed up. They really did. And sometimes it's so difficult when people realize their mistakes. They also realize that backtracking is not going to work. They realize that that never happens. You can't rewind, right? You can't go back in time. And it's just very difficult for this person to not be with you. They feel at this point in time that they have made the changes. But what they find challenging is that even after the changes, even after they are mentally and emotionally and even spiritually prepared and ready, they still find it absolutely difficult how to connect with you. Because once they knew you, they knew who you were, but then now it's like you're different. It's like you're a complete stranger. And they are finding it difficult reaching out to you. All they have to do, I hear someone saying, just pick up the phone and call. That's easier said than done. Remember, they are going through this phase as well, order. Sometimes I call this order and chaos. So they're very confused. There's a lot of clouds around them, and they don't know which way to go. Forwards, backwards, left or right. And if they just go, they might just make a mistake. And if they do that, they'll feel like, wow, this is the last straw. I don't think that Libra is ever going to want to be with me if I make one more mistake. That's why they stay still. They're not moving. They're not budging. And for you, it's a challenge. For them, it's a challenge. But for you, it's also a challenge. All right, Libra, let's have a look. I have here the beginner's, this is the Lover's Path Tarot. So with this deck, what I like to do is I go a little bit in the past, a little bit the history of the both of you. So we go a little back in time when things were going great, but then something started to shift. Something started to change. You actually got two popping out here. I'm going to bring out the second one. Ooh, okay. Oh boy. Libra. That's why. Transformation. Person is very stubborn. So some of you may be wondering what happened. Was this my fault? Was it something I could have done, changed? Not all the time, Libra. Sometimes it's literally just your person of interest. It's just their attitude, their mindset, the way they were born and raised. It's not you. The majority of the time, this is what I have seen. Now, this is for those of you that needed closure. You need closure. You deserve closure, but you never got any. This person could have ghosted you. They may have abandoned you. They could have faded over time, etc., etc. It's just not what it used to be. And you're wondering, where did it all fall apart? Where did I go wrong? You might think that. Well, let's see what it is, okay? We have here the King of Cups. We also have the Six of Cups. And we have transformation under the bottom of the deck, the overall arching theme. This deck I do read in the past, your past with this person, but I also read this in the reverse. So let's have a look. King of Cups. oh boy, oh boy. It talks about how this person back then was not learning from love relationships. There was an inability to live up to the ideals and dreams that they had. There was a lack of emotional maturity. There was a lack of wisdom and integrity. This is someone who symbolized these forces but did not have maturity, wisdom, or integrity. They did, however, have a desire to have more control over their aspirations. But, the card says here, they needed to stop fantasizing and finally get back to work. You, Libra, were dealing with somebody who was inconsistent and unreliable. So basically, you got into the situation here thinking, and like you would think that this person's a king. Why? Because they're acting like a king. But that's exactly what it was I'm seeing here. They were acting. That's the problem. It wasn't the real them. Why? Because there's a lack of wisdom. Now remember, the first set of cards, didn't we see wisdom? Yes, we did. So you had wisdom there. Wisdom means that now they are wise, because the first set of cards, for those of you who are new, that is the current status. Okay? Current status says that this person is wiser. They have changed. The past here shows me that they were very unwise, even if they were acting like a king. There was a lack of that integrity, a lack of that wisdom. This person was inconsistent. They were unreliable. Yeah. So a lot of things going on. We also have here the Six of Cups. Let's have a look. This is a very interesting card because it really sways the interpretation. For some of you, this could be a past life feeling. This person may feel also that you both are connected in a past life. I usually do. I do past life reading. So 100% of the time, I've always done. Anybody that ever connects with me, they always tell me, well, okay, anyway, let me rephrase that. My clients, okay? Whenever they have, a question, or whenever they are asking about an individual, their person of interest, there has never been a time where somebody is not related to them spiritually. It's, at this point, I'm kind of used to it, but I do find that odd that every single person, and the one time I had this individual, and they had only met, it was a one-night stand. It's in one of my videos on my other channel. I'll talk about that later. But they literally were just together for 4 hours. Okay, and they were gone, poof. But they could not stop thinking about each other. And it turned out, one of the person, they reached out and they got a reading done. They're soulmates, right? It's the weirdest thing. So we can meet somebody anywhere in any sort of way, and we will be somehow connected as long as there's that feeling, that spark, because there's something familiar about that person. That's how you're drawn in. And the issue here with this card, the Six of Cups, some of you may be drawn in, but this person has some issues from their past. Not from the past life. Yes, it could be, but right now I'm in the present. And past life and the history of this person is slightly different, right? We're talking about this lifetime right now between you and them. This person does have issues from their childhood or from their youth. They wanted to shed sad thoughts that constrain them. There's constraints. Here, there was an inability to create sweetness within the home or the environment that they used to be in. They wanted to incorporate the strengths that they had into the past, into the future. But they were unable to, because there was sad feelings, sad emotions when they're thinking about the past. Here, there was an issue where there was a feeling of restriction. There was restricted feelings when it comes to the past and with past memories. Here, it also talks about lost harmony and cynicism. So there's two things. This person does have this connection with you from the past, from their past life, they feel. And this is just a feeling they have. You guys might just be spiritually connected, or you could also be destined to be together in a few centuries from now. I've done readings like that too. It's very rare though. But there's definitely some type of a spiritual connection. This person feels it and they know it. What's interesting about this card is that it does talk about when the person was younger. Meaning that the foundation of this individual, their life, is not as strong and healthy as it could have been. It should have been more, but it wasn't. And not everybody on planet Earth, the majority of the world, we don't have the perfect childhood, right? There's too many things that happen. Circumstances, families, so many things, right? This person specifically has issues with their past. This could be their childhood. This could be their youth. It could be them being in poverty. It could be them, unfortunately, being mistreated when they were young. It could also be the recent past. If they were in a connection with someone, they could have mistreated them. And so there's that lack of trust. There's that lack of faith. And so they do not want to be 100% involved in the connection the way that you want to be, because they fear and they feel insecure. Now let's have a look at transformations. Hopefully, this will also help understand, the situation a bit better. So we're definitely dealing with somebody who was acting like a king, even though they were not a king. And it was because they tried to make themselves look better, be better, because of things that happened in the past. Here we have transformation. Transformation, the need to allow something to die, metaphorically speaking, in order to create room for the new. Fear of loss from change. Creating life out of death. Stagnation. This is in the reverse. Stagnation. Resisting transformation. The need to move in a new direction, but the inability to do so. And being very rigid. Not really wanting any change. Not wanting an ending, but not also wanting to begin anything. Isn't that crazy, guys? Change, right? Not wanting to end anything, not wanting to begin anything, not wanting to change anything. So where the heck does this person stand? This is not somebody that a typical individual can be happy with. I'm sorry. Because this person themselves, they are very complicated. And it's not because they have done it to themselves on purpose. This is because of the life that they have lived. Their history, their family, their parents, their friends, their society, everything that has happened in their life has made them who they are now. And a part of that is also this attitude that they get where they are very rigid. They don't want to mess with anything else other than the stuff that they know. Because if they do, then it doesn't make them feel as if they are in control. It doesn't make them feel as if they're a king that knows everything, been there, done that. No. So what they do is they kind of stay fixated and just stay still. They don't budge. They don't really make a move. So you may want, or you may have wanted this person to change in a good way, and they may not have seen it as a positive thing. They may have resisted. And the word I'm seeing again is rigid. They're being very rigid. Now remember, the only reason why they didn't want to change is because, first of all, they may have had something happen in their past. And why don't they want to change? Like the real reason why, it's because it creates fear of the unknown. They just want to stick with what they know. Because if they do anything different, they will feel that they no longer are in control. And this is what they were doing. They were acting as a king, somebody who was reliable and dependable. But the truth is here, it's in the reverse. They were not reliable. They were not dependable. And they did not want to change because of the things that have happened in their past. So you are definitely dealing with somebody here who has issues from their past that need to be settled. This is not a you problem, Libra. This is a them problem. And there's a hell of a lot of problems here. It's not just one card. Each card has a distinct meaning here. Whatever happened in their past, just like every other human being, it's a trickle effect, right? It's a trickle effect. One thing will, it will affect something else, and that will affect this, that will affect this. But also, the concentration over time increases. The energy of that increases over time. And the older we get, the harder it is to change. And here, being in the transformation with that card, it is very difficult if you're, not in your 20s, if you're settled in your ways in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. I've had people who have done readings that are 80. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people actually make fun of that. I don't like that, guys. Doesn't matter what age you are. On the inside, you all feel like you're 25, 26, 27. That's about it. Everybody feels young on the inside. Doesn't matter how old you get. Here we have the Beginner's Tarot. So with this, I'd like to have a look at any actions, any plans, any intentions your person of interest may have towards you. Let's see. So, we are dealing with somebody here who is trying to be someone they are not. But they're not going out making the effort even. It's almost like they wanted you to come to them. But then when it happened, they weren't really changing much. They weren't adjusting. There was no kind of compromise. Yeah, that's why. Because they feel caged. This talks about internal and external restrictions. Internal meaning the psyche, right? The mind. I just can't release myself from this because why? The person needs help. The person needs any sort of help. This could be. It doesn't have to be just like, therapy and stuff like that. But they feel okay, let me rephrase that. They can only move forward if they see an offer. If they see the difference between, the darkness and the light, right? Hot and sweet or hot and cold, right? Like the opposite. What I'm seeing here is that they have almost kept so distant from society or other people or the way relationships are that they don't really associate much in that way, so they do not learn. For example, like with that card transformations, had they learned, they would know that they don't have to fear anything. But the reason why they're not moving or budging from the position that they're in, mentally the position that they're in, it's because if they do, there's a lot of fear associated to it because that's territory that is completely unknown to them and they don't want to go there. And so they stay where they think it's safe. But the problem is then it's on their turf. They want you to be with them the way they want to be. So this is like my way or the highway. It's, they may love you, because we do have love here. They may love you the way that they know how to love, but they won't love you the way that you want to be loved. But is there love? Yeah, there is. It's just that it's not what many of you are hoping for. All right, guys, let's have a look. Not bad. We have a set of cards here. I mean, this is definitely challenging, but the rest are pretty nice. We have here the Ace of Swords. So this does show me that this person wants to cut to the heart of the matter. They really want to solve the situation. They want to find a solution to the problem. This is talking about brilliance in the mind, the way someone is thinking intellectually, critically, problem solving. This person, whenever they are making a decision or if they want to reach out to you, they're doing it in a very intellectual and logical sort of way. So they're leaving emotions out of this. They're leaving emotions out of the equation, even though it's all about love. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's exactly why this person needs a bit more wisdom. And they need to transform. What do? They realize over time, thank God, that there needs to be an equal balance and a give and take. Now, what does this mean? This means that they are going to budge. They are going to move a little bit. They're going to transform a little bit. Yes, thank God. Oh my God, it took them forever. It's going to take them a while though, guys, because their mindset is like this, eh? They actually think like this. They are so rational, logical. They are, and they might not be logical or rational, like when it comes to speaking to you in turn, like the everyday thing. But when it comes to love, they're not thinking with their heart when they're making these decisions. That's the problem. They're emotionally detached when they're making these decisions. That's the problem here. And this is something that they are going to realize, which is perfect. That's exactly what they need to know. That what they're doing, what they're thinking is absolutely wrong. And yes, they need to make things right. Now, realizing that something needs to be right means that the entire time things were wrong. And this person realizes that this entire time you may have just been giving and adjusting, and they just kept taking and never adjusting. But now they want an equal balance. They also want an equal give and take. This is perfect. With that new emotion comes the desire that they have for you, wanting to be with you in a very good, happy, emotional way. This is a wish that they have, that they want to be with you. Now it's interesting, there's a wish here, but right after that we do have the Wheel of Fortune. So the one thing about this card for me is there's this feeling someday, some way we will meet again. There was a hope, there was a prayer, there was a wish. The problem, Libra, I don't really see them taking any major bold action. Here and here and here, I don't see them. There may be a conversation going forward at some point in time where you will find it odd that they're giving you more attention and also asking you for your opinion, sometimes even for your permission on certain things, getting more of your advice, being more involved. And that's beautiful, Crosswatcher. That's the way relationships always are. That's the way it should be. And there's no harm. Two people love each other. Yes, we all make mistakes, but we're there to support each other, right? You're a team. This is something a little concerning, but this talks about the circumstances of this person. So here I see your person of interest is in a situation in their life where they are not supposed to see, they're not supposed to hear. They're bound, their arms, legs, hands, feet are tied, so they cannot budge or move. They're surrounded by swords. They're caged. They feel caged. And far in the distance, someone is watching them like a hawk. Is this external forces that's causing this, or is it internal? That's the difference. This is a general love reading, Libra, so not everybody's going to have internal issues. Some might just be external issues, meaning the parents don't want this person to be dating anybody else, or the society that they're in. Maybe their religion. Maybe this person's very rich and someone else is not so rich. And there's these differences that exist in beliefs, morals, ethics, values. And for that reason, there's these differences, and that's why there's these restrictions. So it could be internal, and it could also be external. But whatever it is, on the whole, it does show me that there are restrictions here, and it's not easy for this person to be with you the way that you would like them to. But they're going to try. That's a good thing. And it does show me here with this sort of energy, it takes great courage to do what they're going to do. And that's a big deal on its own. Because after this, when they have the wish and after things are going to start to get better in this connection, what I do see is that they break free, right, from these binds, these chains. They're going to break free finally, and they feel the freedom. And when they feel that, they make things right with a justice. And then finally, at some point, that transformation card, they're finally able to adjust, to change, to adapt, and to be part of the team. All right, we have here Archangel answer cards. Just going to do a quick prayer. All right. We have here, listen to your intuition. So these messages are brought to you by Archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. So we have here, listen to your intuition, followed by success. Aha. After that, we have romance. Then we have be assertive. No need to worry. Why? because there's something better. Guys, this is reading like a sentence. Very nice. Within the next few months. We do have no here. Let's put it over here. But I want to know what the no is regarding. Not good. I'm going to have to keep asking. Okay. 1 second, guys. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Libra. This is the situation, okay? Some of you are actually going to find someone brand new, all right? Whoever this person is, they're still going to be, like I said, someone from your past life, or just rather a spiritual connection, someone that you've had a spiritual connection with. Here we have listen to your intuition. So there's certain things that are going to happen in the coming days, months even. Here we have a few months. It's important for you to listen to your intuition and know that certain things that have happened in your life, that are happening, they're happening for a reason, but also pay attention to what your heart says, what your mind says. Success will come to both groups here. We got two groups. Romance will come to both. Be assertive for both groups. Let this person know, like I say sometimes, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. Set those healthy boundaries. There's no need to worry because there's something better that's going to happen in the next few months. It reads so well right here. For others of you, there's no need to worry because there's going to be someone else, someone better than the person that you're with right now within the next few months. For some of you, it's very difficult. You've been adjusting and trying for, good God, like such a long time. This connection has impacted you. Some of you, not all of you. This is a general love reading. But what I'm seeing here is that we have here no, recovery, wait. This is the way it came out. There was no and then recovery and then wait. So this does tell me that this connection, because it's a spiritual connection, it's very, very intense. And it is so important for you to let go in order for there to be recovery. Because some of you may think that it will happen in the next few months. For some of you that are feeling emotionally, spiritually, or physically out of sync, and this also is your mind, body, spirit, and your soul. If it's out of alignment, then it is important for you to take a step back, focus on yourself, and then move forward. But this can only happen after you let go. It's important for you to let go of the beliefs, of the pain, of the suffering, everything that has happened that's no longer serving you, to regain balance, to have better reevaluation of your own life. You need to sometimes be selfish. You need to think about yourself. Okay? Health is wealth. Health is happiness. Here we have recovery, and it's so important to be that person who does recover. It's not going to happen anytime soon because we have here next few months. But then again, this is a general love reading. I hope to God, pray to God that you do recover soon, but it's a general love reading. So obviously it's not private. Not everybody's in the same boat. Some people are not even sick. So this does have an effect on those that are in a spiritual connection mostly. Letting go is never easy, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. Libra, that is your reading. I hope I was able to provide you with some clarity and some guidance in your situation. Do let me know in the comments below if any of this has resonated. Also, I wanted to mention that on my other channel, Asnointia Audio, the link is below. That's my other channel on YouTube. And those videos I have, it's mostly audio recordings. The pictures are just there for entertainment. Go about your business, whatever you're doing throughout the day, and just listen to what it is that I have to say. One of the most recent videos I uploaded was letting go. So here we have let go. Letting go and moving on. That is one of the most recent ones I just put up. And I talked to you about why it's important, letting go, how to let go, and then also why is moving on important, as well as how to move on. And I've used some examples from what people have gone through, my clients, many people, similar scenarios to what many of us go through. And it's very important to know that, because you can only move on and be a stronger person if you are able to see the red flags. Sometimes we don't. So please have a look at that. On that channel, you will also find I have one on negative energies, how to recognize and remove negative energies from your life. I also have 2 other playlists. I do have other videos too, but the main ones are on past life and spiritual connections. That's very applicable to this particular reading. I also have some on relationships, so relationship related advice. Some of you, because it's a past life spiritual connection, very strong, you may find one of the videos very interesting. There's 2 actually. One is called Past Life and Spiritual Connections. Literally, that's a title. The other is called Sensually Intense Spiritual Connections. So have a look at that. Some of you may find that really helpful. Also, do I do love readings? Yes, I do. But they are limited. So as soon as you hear this recording, I'd recommend that you go and you place an order, because the time that I have, the slots do fill up fast. So I'd recommend that. Now, I do love readings. The one I have available right now, it's PDF as well as an audio, so a lot of information you receive. And also I have the past life package. Have a look at that. Please read through it before you place an order to have a better understanding as to what it's all about. And also I have the chakra checkup package, and that is to help you get rid of negative energies from your home, around your aura, and inside of your body, which is your chakra centers. So I do have the ability of channeling and looking wherever it is that you're living to see simply the negative energies, how many are in your home, how many around your aura and inside of your body, which is your chakra centers. And I tell you what they are, and I also tell you how to get rid of them. And the reason why it's important is because some of you might be wanting to manifest things in your life, but it's just not happening. Part of the reason is it's because the negative energies do create blockages. So I teach you basically how to get rid of those blockages and create more peace and harmony in your life. The negative energies I'm talking about are strictly just jinns, demons, evil spirits. That's it. That's mostly what I deal with. And I teach you how to get rid of them. Very simple, very gentle technique. Okay, it's not something too crazy or scary. And once you get rid of those things from your life, whatever's owed to you karmically, whatever's written in your book of life, it'll come to you. And your own spirit guides who are positive will finally be there around you, because sometimes what happens is they are outnumbered by the negative. Even if your good spirit guides are there, the negative energies kind of like bully them. It's pretty sad. But I just teach you how to get rid of that stuff, and then you're all good to go. And you're very positive. And the things around you are positive, and you attract positive energy. You're just radiating with positive energy, and you're just brilliant. And that is something that is on a different frequency, a different vibration. Now, I wanted to mention also, some of you, I do have some self-help guides. Do read what the descriptions are. They're different types of things that you can do to get rid of different types of negative energy related situations. So do have a look at that. Some of you might find it helpful. Those are self-help guides. They don't come really with a reading, but it's very self-explanatory. I've created I've written a lot of details, so you just know what the instructions are. You know what to do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys again. Thank you for the encouragement, for the comments below. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all again. Take care. Stay safe. Bye now.